Hey chickadees, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be playing around with a lot of drugstore products today. So starting off with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Porcelain. I'm just going to be using this to prime my lids. So firstly I'm going to apply it using the brush it comes with on the concealer itself. And then I'm going to pat that onto the lid using a synthetic concealer brush. And then I'm going to make sure it's nice and seamless by going over the top with my beauty blender. For eyes today, I'm going to be using my Morphe 35O palette and taking the lighter shade in the palette. I'm just going to use that to set down the concealer, making sure the base is nice and smooth and not too tacky. Then for the transition shade, I'm going to pick up this light burnt orange colour and I'm just going to slowly start building that up into the crease. I wanted to really make sure this transition colour defined the crease as well as provided a transition for the other colours, so I did pack it on quite heavily. So just using windscreen wiper motions and then tiny little circular motions, I'm just going to make sure that's all blended in nice and seamlessly. And then to add a little bit more depth, I'm going to pick up this light brown colour and I'm just going to pack that into the crease on top of the transition shade and also a little bit below. And I'm also just going to smoke it out into the outer corner of my eye as well, into a kind of V shape, just to make the eye a little bit more smoky and add a little bit more of a dramatic effect. And then with a clean brush, I'm just going to quickly buff those two shades together just to make sure that from the beginning the eyeshadows are nice and blended together. And then picking up a gold shade, I actually pointed to the wrong one, it was actually the one above it. So I'm just going to wet a synthetic eyeshadow brush. It's kind of like the concealer brush I first used. It's just really good to pick up pigment and pack it onto the lid. So once I've sprayed it with my Badescu Rose Water Spray, I'm just going to keep packing it on until I completely cover the lid. And then picking up the more light gold colour, I'm just going to pop that on my lid using my finger. I just wanted a more goldy kind of shade rather than a copper shade, so it's just going to help do that. And then picking up that dark brown colour, I'm just going to use a tiny pencil brush just to deepen up the crease a little bit more, and also the outer V. It just added a little bit more drama to the eye and made it a little bit more smoky. And then using a fluffier brush, I'm just going to go over that dark shade just to make sure it's all blended nicely. To prime my face, I'm using my Badescu Rose Water Spray as per usual. And then for foundation, I'm going with my EX1 Foundation. And using a beauty blender, I'm just going to pat that onto the skin. I did want a more full coverage effect, so I did go in with two layers of the foundation because the first layer was quite see-through. So I just wanted to make sure that all my blemishes were covered and the skin was looking nice and flawless. To highlight under the under eyes, going with my LA Girl Pro Conceal again, and instead of using the little stick thing it comes with, I'm just going to pop it on the back of my hand and then pat it onto the skin using the same synthetic concealer brush that I used to prime my lids. It just went on a lot better than normal. And then using my beauty blender, I'm just going to make sure that's all patted into the skin and looking nice and bright and beautiful. Using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the contour shade, I'm just going to pop this on my forehead, down my cheekbones, and also on my nose, just as a cream contour. I just really wanted a lot of glow and bronze today, so I wanted to make sure all my cream products were done before I went in with any powders. And then using the bottom of my beauty blender, I'm just going to pat that into the skin and make sure it's all blended in nicely. I didn't actually have a drugstore eyebrow pencil, so instead I picked up the contour shade from the LA Girl Spice Blush collection, and on a eyeliner brush I just ran that really quickly through my brows just to provide a little bit more coverage. Of course it did not match the color at all, but it just worked, I guess. And then to add a little bit more texture, I went in with my Misslyn Eyebrow Setting Gel and just brushed them upwards to make them look nice and bushy. And then to bake under my eyes, I went in with my RCMA translucent powder, and with my beauty blender I just made sure the under eyes were nice and set and highlighted. Using that powder I also cleaned up underneath my contour just to make sure it hadn't gone down too far, and then I also set the rest of my face with a really light hand. And then once the bake had been on for a little while, I just went ahead and brushed it all off. To set the cream contour, I went in with the LA Girl Spice Blush Collections bronzer. This bronzer got a massive workout in this tutorial. It just happened to be useful for everything. Plus, I don't have a lot of drugstore products, so I really do need to build up my collection. So just going over everywhere where I put the cream contour, and then going in with my Australis banana powder, I just highlighted under my eyes a little bit more. Picking up the highlight shade from the LA Girl palette, I just used that to really lightly highlight my face. It didn't actually do a very good job this time around, which was a little bit disappointing, but it was better than the NYX highlighter I tried to use, which was shocking. And then picking up the shimmer shade from the Morphe palette, I'm just going to use that to highlight under my brows and also in the inner corner of my eyes. And then to finish off the eyes, I just picked up that same dark brown shade that I used to deepen up the outer V as well as the crease. And on the same pencil brush, I just ran that along the lower lash line just to add a little bit more depth to the bottom lashes and to tie it in with the eyes. And then using the same burnt orange shade I used as the transition shade, on a fluffier blending brush, I just blended out that dark brown shade. For mascara, I used the Makeup Design mascara. This was only like $4.50 and I really didn't have high hopes, but considering the price, it honestly was actually amazing. It doesn't compare at all to my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, but it really did do the job. So just coating my top and my bottom lashes with that mascara, and then prepping them for eyelashes because I'm going in with my red cherry lashes in Wispy, of course, and popping them on. And then for lips, I took my NYX creamy matte lip cream. I can't remember the shade name of this, but I'll pop it down below. It's a really nice blue toned red. It honestly, I don't wear reds ever, but it suited my skin so much better being more blue based than orange based. So I didn't line them at all because I didn't actually have a drugstore lip liner, but with these products you don't really have to because they don't bleed. So just going over my lips, and then just to carve out the lips and clean up any mistakes, I took my LA Girl Pro Concealer again, and on an eyeliner brush I just went around the lips just to define them and make sure that any excess lipstick was all cleaned up. And to make the lips look a little bit more plump, I just added that bronze shade underneath, which is my favorite trick. And there you have it, a really nice, beautiful drugstore, affordable tutorial, gold lid with a staple red lip. You can't go past it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!